There has been a flood of trash can PCs in recent years, all of them vying for the title of the one that finally got it right. Zotac, on the other hand, well, Zotac has no need for trash cans. No, my friends, Zotac brings the heat in fancy, handleless lunchboxes. Last year's Magnus EN1080 blew our socks and sandals off as a super tiny, liquid-cooled, high-end gaming PC that we thought was pretty darn close to our vision of the ultimate compact PC. So then, will this year's EN1080K VR-ready mini PC with a substantial graphics upgrade be even more filling? Let's find out. Rocat's ISCU Plus Force FX features pressure-sensitive QWE ASAD keys, which can be configured in 3 different modes for multiple functions. Check it out now at the link below. Sorry. So taking a good look at the new Magnus, we can see that aside from its totally blacked out matte aluminum finish and an HDMI 2.0 port at the front for VR, very little has changed externally. So on the front, we've still got USB 3.1 Type A and Type C, front panel audio, and an SDXC card slot. And then at the back, we've got identical looking rear I/O too. Again, frustratingly lacking audio jacks, making the front panel ones the only ones you get. With that said, DisplayPort 1.3 and HDMI 2.0 are both nice additions. The EN1080K actually has a total of 5 video outputs, though only 4 of them will work simultaneously. On the bottom, we get the same oddly ventilated panel, along with the familiar honeycombed plastic upper panel that work together surprisingly well, with a nice mesh that keeps bugs and other debris from making it into your lunch. Okay, no, I'll stop that now, because this next bit is super serial. This is perhaps the most important upgrade over last year's model. Lighting effects. Now, the Magnus logo is illuminated and the power LED is RGB. Woo! So you can use the software to configure it for the world's smallest dance party, cause that's actually about the extent of the system lighting. Pulling off the bottom panel then gets us to the really fun stuff. Zotac ships the EN1080K as either a completed system or as a bare bones. So if you're gonna buy the latter, pay close attention. First up, we've got twin DDR4 SODIMM slots alongside an M.2 SSD slot that thankfully supports NVMe this time around. Then we've got a toolless SATA drive, rounding out our expansion with the 2.5-inch drive of your choice. Then, if we go further than bare bones builders and painstakingly remove all of the panels, that is 25 screws, not counting the feet, we get a good look at the water cooling system, complete with radiator, reservoir, and custom blocks for the CPU and the entire desktop-grade MXM module GPU. If you look even closelier, you can actually see that the CPU block is way larger than it needs to be. So it's clear then that Zotac is taking no chances with VRM cooling as well as the basics, which is a great indicator of future reliability. Overall, we should hopefully get great thermal results and super low noise. Now let's talk first though about what's under the water cooling. For the GPU, we go from a GTX 980 4GB all the way up to a GTX 1080 8GB graphics card, and Zotac decided to man up on the CPU as well, moving from a Core i5 to a near top-of-the-line Core i7 7700, though it should be noted that they are still not allowing overclocking. It is not a K model. I think we can let that slide though for how utterly impressive it is that Zotac managed to cram all of that in here. I mean, to put it in perspective, at 5.85 liters, that is under half the volume of the very impressive Corsair 1 that we reviewed recently, and only slightly more than the lower spec MSI Trident that uses air cooling. So then, let's power it on. First, there's a really annoying buzzing noise. Then, nothing? Yes, my friends, the default BIOS configuration has the fan not even spinning unless the GPU hits 50 degrees or higher, making the new Magnus much quieter at idle than the old model. The drawback of this config is that under synthetic load, we did manage to get the CPU to throttle because the default fan curve sacrificed maybe too much of its performance for silence. The good news though is that this too can be tweaked in the BIOS, and it's still quieter than you'd expect for something so compact. All right, so now, the performance showdown. For comparison, we dusted off its older brother, the EN980, pulled the Corsair 1 out of the mothballs, and grabbed a full-sized KB Lake test bench for reference. So then, we expected the test bench to be faster, given its higher turbo clocks and higher speed memory. But what we didn't see coming was how close the EN1080K would hang on. It handled everything we threw at it with flying colors, including our synthetic CPU tests, where it only really lagged behind in the real bench image editing test. It also provides a great VR experience thanks to the aforementioned front panel HDMI 2.0 and USB 3.1 ports, making it one damn impressive little lunchbox. Sorry, couldn't resist. But that impressiveness doesn't change a key point that we made in our review of the EN980. The inability to upgrade the CPU and GPU in the Magnus EN1080K seriously puts a damper on its otherwise spectacular performance. And the $25.99 US price tag, yes, $1,000 more than its predecessor, is for a system that will forever be as you bought it, save for maybe throwing in some more RAM or storage. I mean, with a GTX 1080, a Core i7 7700, HDMI 2.0, DisplayPort 1.3, USB 3.1, I mean, we can't see your gaming lunch getting moldy anytime soon. We're just saying that, what are we saying? Maybe it's this, okay? There's no question that the EN1080K is a tiny, quiet, punching above its weight class, freaking incredible little piece of technology. Zotac did an outstanding job once again. But at these prices, you just have to ask yourself, are you hungry enough for frames to spring for this water-cooled super meal? Or is it just too much to swallow? TunnelBear is so easy to use that you can get your mom or even your grandpa using a VPN app, which is a good idea because a VPN lets you browse privately and enjoy a more open internet. And TunnelBear, oh man, you just download it. It's available for PC, Mac, Android, iOS. There's even a Chrome extension, and you just press like one button and boom. All your traffic gets hidden from advertisers, your ISP, or anyone who wants to profit from you or your data. They've got a top-rated privacy policy, they don't log your activity, and you can try it for free with 500 megs and no credit card required. So just check it out by going to tunnelbear.com/LTT, and if you use that link, you can save 10% on an unlimited plan. So thanks for watching, guys. If this video sucked, you know what to do. But if it was awesome, get subscribed, hit that like button, or check out the link to where to buy the stuff we featured in the video description. Also down there is our merch store, which has cool shirts like this one, and our community forum, which you should totally join.